Hello everybody! Don't worry, it looks frightening. There's so many people here, and you're probably wondering, oh my god, I've tuned into the wrong podcast. But no, we're joined by lots of people, so I'm going to go through everybody and introduce them. This is, of course, Let's Drone Out, episode 360, and we're joined today by Cole, our Canadian bacon.
Howdy.
Over there, Stephen, the UK's most foremost Dr. Robotnik impersonator. And on the second row, we've got the guys and organisers for Drone Fest who are going to talk about it all today, which is over there is Go Nuts FPV, Mickey FPV, and Swiss FPV.
Hello.
Who may or may not have real names. I forgot to check that. Down at the bottom, last but not least, sorry, not least but last, we've got the Tone Star, who's often here, and a warm welcome back to everyone's favourite Andy RC.
He is everyone's favourite.
Who's in a different room? Where's his bedspread? Oh, and I'm not everybody's favourite curry kitten. So that's it. That's our show. Let's get going, and let's talk about Drone Fest first off. We should, shouldn't we? What's it all about? Who can give us the skinny on what's going on?
I just think before we start as well, it's just obviously just say thanks for letting us on. But obviously, just want to point out this is we're in Insta360, and this is the 360th episode as well. So, uncanny.
Yes.
Yep.
Weird. What happened?
In with the sponsors.
It was meant to be.
I didn't mean to. It's just like, yeah.
It was meant
Yeah,
to
so
be.
maybe I'm going to carry on.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, Simon, thank you for correcting the name. This is Insta360 FPV drone now, because we have a nice cooperation with Insta360, which is helping us and pushing FPV hobby to the new level, making it more accessible and more attractive, maybe. Definitely for this festival, they pushed to the maximum with making this great. And basically, the festival is about to encourage everybody, new people, to the hobby. Make them let them discover the hobby, introduce and present every part of the hobby, from holding the battery through the learning skills, through every little part which we know about. It's a lot. It's really a lot. Then also we're going to have Insta360 workshop, where we're going to be able to try all the cameras and software editions. So whoever never ever heard about FPV is welcome, more than welcome, because you will be able to find any details, or you will be displayed every part of FPV. So, and mainly you can win anything, absolutely everything, to start your hobby.
Oh, that sounds good.
Very cool.
Excellent. Good work on getting such great sponsors.
Yes. A lot of sponsors. It's like 15 already. We have even a Red Bull with us nowadays, and they join us very recently, and seems like to be a very, very big festival. Also, what is really important about that festival, that we're gonna have live stream from Insta360 on their official Instagram channel, which is gonna spread the news about festival very worldwide.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Excellent.
That's
well
amazing.
done.
That's very awesome. And the other thing is what was very interesting about FPV Drone Fest is normally when you think of FPV gets together, it's about racing. And this isn't about racing, is it? This is about freestyle and doing stuff.
It's more like
racing.
It's also about racing, but racing is something like a part of FPV, which is important, even in freestyle. If you want to keep lines and all smooth maneuvers, it's good to start with racing. And basically, there are many other events like racing events, but there are not many like freestyle and like our festival. So this is basically more to freestyle, because we want to show the top level pilots and skills, and show what we can achieve with the equipment and skills and practice and experience, and especially in this amazing spot, which is Clipson Colliery.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. A lot of race events and air shows are big empty fields with no real landmarks or obstacles, but you've chosen a very different location, a colliery. So could you describe that to us? I've got a lot of audio listeners, so if you could, there may be pictures, but if you could describe it in words as well, that'd be great.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's one sort of big, massive power. Sorry.
Go on.
It's an old sort of colliery, an old power station. You've got two big, massive headstocks. I think that they're 200 foot tall, and big ironwork, lots of gaps. There's a lot to fly around at the same time as well. If you imagine big metal structures as being created, they were created sort of long time ago. The big
so
open
real
gaps you can see.
Industrial Revolution era brickwork and steelwork.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the sort of thing you don't see a lot of in the UK. There's not a lot of bandos here.
No, not left anyway. No. But no, it's a really good place. I mean, being there a few times now, and even so, you find different lines every time you go there. It's it's a very versatile spot. You can just sort of there's some very big gaps where you can start on as well to make you sort of break yourself into it. But there's some really quite intricate gaps and sort of intricate tight lines that you can follow at the same time as well. So there's a lot for everyone. It's not just it's not just the newbies because it's a big open space and you can fly around it. You can get in there, and obviously the more technical people can find those little gaps. Excellent. And obviously have more fun at the same time as well.
And to help people get used to it, it sounds like you've got a few challenges and some sort of group events for this.
Yeah. So obviously a part of the whole festival at the same time as well. We don't just want to make it just you're going to turn up, you're going to fly. We want to sort of do other things with it as well. So we want to make sure that the people that do turn up, everyone participates, and that's not just the flyers as well. We've actually got some amazing challenges for the spectators to take part and sort of like see how it is to be a pilot, etc. as well. And at the same time with those challenges comes some really amazing prizes. Pete's works so hard in the background, sort of trying to work with all these sponsors to get all these prizes we've got. It's amazing. You pretty much every single day on a WhatsApp you've got, this has arrived today, guys. This has arrived today, guys, and it's just like it's absolutely amazing. It just means that we can be more generous at the festival as well. So you turn up, you're going to be walking away with something that that you've won or part of the challenge or just for turning up. So it's going to be absolutely brilliant.
Excellent.
By the way, about the prizes, I have prepared myself, and if you can see, these are the prizes. We have Torvald. We have So we have Torvald here, backpack, lipo bags. We have hundreds of sets from Gem Fun, 2 TBS Mambos. We have three Cetus Pro from Beta FPV and 4 controllers, and also we got gates to fly to do the racing from Beta FPV, and this is basically just the part of the all prizes. Here we have Fox here. And basically, the main Insta360. It's so many prizes, so many add-ons. It's just unbelievable. I'm running out of the space at my home.
That's incredible to see. It's good to see such an interest in the hobby in these times. You think there's maybe less interest than there was, but it's doing fantastically. That's great to see.
And everything that we've got given from the sponsors, we're giving out. We're not like sharing some amongst us. We're actually giving everything that's been given to us.
Are you sure? Because Swiss FPV was like, we've got 4. No, we've got 3. Dodgy.
Yeah, there's only one camera.
There's actually one camera left and one prop. Only one prop.
There's 10. Did you say hundreds? No. There's 10 prop packs. And
but that's the thing.
Yeah, we're going to also be using some of the accessories and the present stuff to give welcome packs to everyone who's got a pilot pass to the event.
That's nice.
Yeah, so every person gonna get about 4, maybe 5 packs of propellers from Gem Fun, T-shirt, 4-volt goggle strap, Insta360 Go 2 mount, Oh, I'm not sure what else. I hope I didn't miss anything, but that's what we have confirmed so far.
I think there's some key rings, some wristbands. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got this huge building. People are going to be screaming around it. They're going to be going down doing like ladder dives and challenges and all sorts. And how does that work? Because that's a whole building to fly around. That's not a flight line where that side of the field is the aircraft and that side of the field is the spectators. How do you make that work?
Where the tricky bit is we've done a few testings. We've been to the site. We've sort of set up some sort of flight lines in different places in different areas. Obviously, as you know, we can't put 10, 15 pilots up at the same time because that just doesn't work because we don't have enough channels for that. But we've gone through on the frequency guide, worked out where we need to be so we can actually get analog and DJI going on there at the same time as well. Put slight restrictions into what output you can do at the same time, just to make sure we can get as many people up in the air at the same time. I think, quote me, tell me if I'm wrong, people. We're trying to do five lines at the same time, spread out slightly. So you're flying this sort of area, you're flying this sort of area, and hopefully that's hopefully that. So
you've got like a physical separation to some degree, so the pilots aren't right next to each other.
Yeah, pretty much. We're sort of like giving them guidelines of where they can fly and where they can't fly. I would say that if you're sticking within those lines, you should be okay. If you start moving over slightly out of your bounds, I think with the range of just being up to 200 milliwatts, you pretty much can get most around the building. But if you go too far away, obviously we know how signal works, and that's where.
So you're talking about 5 flight lines sort of simultaneously because they're spread out enough.
Yes.
That it should work.
Yes.
Wow, that must have been interesting to test.
But mainly,
I guess,
yes.
There is one more thing to say about that. Because we have prepared this safe zone, which is an area over 100-meter length and 12-meter depth, and it's about 3-meter height, covered with netting. So all audience can be really close to every action and stay safe. For example, if anybody gonna lose a control or something like that, we will stay safe against falling drone. Oh, somebody's.
Look.
Hello, heavily medicated. How are you doing?
Wild Jack has appeared.
You're right.
Hello, Jack.
Well, we're going to break StreamYard at this point. I don't know if it's had this many people on before.
It's now a perfect. Corey, I know
it does feel better.
Your OCD is now.
The patterns are nicely matching now. I like it.
Everyone's tiled. Well, good to see you, Jack. So interesting, you instead of putting a netting around the drones and having them race inside the netting, you decided to net the audience and just fly everywhere else.
Yeah, I like that. It feels like the audience is kind of on a safari to see the wild drones and are in the sort of safe zone as the animals are running wild around.
Exactly. And we're going to have 5 tents from Insta360 where every pilot is going to have own flight station. And those tents going to be like the entrance and exit from the safe zone. So you're going to be able to walk out from the safe zone through the gazebo or tent, however we're going to call it, and then put your drone on a takeoff landing pad, then go back to the gazebo and in a nice environment have a flight.
Cool.
Is there any restrictions on size of craft?
Well,
every next class.
Well, I have won a competition with my X-Class, and it was a freestyle competition. So I'm just wondering, if there's any, can someone rock up with a bigger drone than a 5-inch? Are people flying 7s and X-Class maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think in some cases you might be a bit tight with maybe a 7. Saying that, probably I'd bring mine and have a go, but. I think it's just up to the pilots, really. I think it's just making sure that that everyone that does arrive, you know your boundaries. If you think that you can bring an X-Class along and you can fly it around and do good and be safe at the same time, we're happy for people to do that. Cool. Everyone is all from walks of life. You get the people that rock, just the 3 inches, and you get the people that just purely 5. Some people like the bigger stuff. So, we don't want to sort of segregate people and say you can't come because of this. We just want to bring what you've got, fly as long as you're flying sensibly and doing all the things you should be doing. Everyone's happy.
Excellent.
On that subject, I just wanted to ask, we talked about pilots and spectators. Is there a limit? Have all of the pilot tickets been sold already, and it's a case of spectators, or is it less sort of, you can turn on what's it saying here?
We actually have set amounts of pilot tickets and spectator tickets. So we've got the weekend passes for the pilot tickets, which we capped at 70.
And have all those gone, or are there ones still available?
There is some left still, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So Tony,
there's still time. Anyone that's watching,
you can bring your
the website's been in there,
Absolutely.
so you can join. Do it.
Where is it?
Oh, he's gone.
He does that. He'll be back.
Where is
Stone Colliery?
Yes, it's Stone Powerhouse.
Nottingham.
I'm sure that'll come up. You'll get a nice picture of it as well.
Be about a 2 hour, 45-minute drive for you, maybe 3 hour.
God, do I do that in the van or the car?
It's 50 minutes for me, which I am thrilled about.
Oh, that's easy to do, isn't it?
You're good.
Yeah, perfect. Everyone gets the LDO event that they couldn't organise themselves.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned it, but it's on the website and everywhere else. It's obviously with the pilot pass, people can camp on the grounds for the whole weekend.
Yeah, and Andy Himes just mentioned in the chat there's showers there. Is that correct too? If you are camping,
showers, toilets, generators. We've got people coming with like food truck. The Red Bull's going to be providing unlimited fuel for everyone, i.e. caffeine drinks.
Red Bulls. They're actually going to be giving out Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Oh,
the whole weekend. Yeah. There's going to be a DJ music. We've got a film crew that's going to be filming everything. We've got the 360 cameras going live on the Insta360 channel.
So you're going to be live streaming from the event.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And this is truly what we were trying to make it. We were trying to make it a festival for FPV. It isn't just, obviously the flying's a big part of that, but at the same time we want to make sure that all the people are catered for, they're getting looked after. It's a good place for a community of our, that we come from to all get together and yes, do some flying, but also, help each other out, have a good time, have a little bit of relaxing at the same time as well. And nice. Last year when we went there, you do go, you do your flying, and then next thing you know, you're talking to some random person that's come across half the country just as like you are, and you're having a conversation. You've got all things in common, and it's not, everyone's helping each other out. There was people last year that having problems with their quads, and they were like just not flying and helping guys out. It's a really great community, and I think it's that we want to keep that spirit going live. Even last year we had a guy that he lost his quad in one of the fields behind. During that time they hadn't cut the grass, so it was really quite high. And we put it out over the announcement. The guy's lost his quad. Can anybody help out? Next thing you turn around, you've got 15 people all walking the field trying to find a quad, and no one even knows where this is. And I think it took about 2 hours in the end, but we got the quad pack purely because the community all came together.
What happens
one of
if
them gave
someone
us Stern
crashes?
Talking about beepers.
I was going to say, I knew Corey would start going into
I was going to ask what happens if you get a quad stuck on top of the colliery, like on a tower 200 foot up.
Ramming it with the other quads until it falls off. Or
there's some places, obviously, where we can get them. There's some places where we can't. I know this because when we did testing, I may have left the quad 200 foot in the air on top of a headstock, just sitting there. There is areas that we can't get to. The guy that owned the building is quite adamant. To get up there, you need specialist equipment. Pete's put a great, fantastic sort of map of the area where we can get and where we can't. There's some, there's some areas that we can just quickly walk into and grab quads, etc. There's some areas that we may need to wait for a bit of downtime, where no one's flying, where someone needs to go in and get those at the same time as well. It didn't work. It worked okay last year getting quad retrieval. Learned a lot of lessons from that, and we're hoping to put those forward this year, and hopefully do something a bit more swifter.
Yeah, we've actually got people helping to retrieve quads as well. It's not like people
specialist climbers
or to kind of go off there. We've got security there. There's all of us there. Plus, we've got helpers there. Just kind of making the whole experience a little bit more supported.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm also working on my own plan to get something to go pick up my quad.
Oh yes, I
well.
know.
Yeah. Very smart. Very smart.
Brilliant.
I want to highlight something. Sorry,
for our audio viewers, Go Nuts just showed what looked like one of those little grabber things you have at the seaside. Attached
so it's literally,
to a quad.
as you go down, it opens up, and as it comes up,
no motors required. It just
it literally just does it all itself.
Nice,
fantastic.
So it sort of works. But all I do is all I need is just to go up and pick a quad up and come out. If it falls out the sky after I've gone 10 foot to the left, I'm fine.
I was going to say, it does look like a seaside thing in the fact that it starts to lift up and you're like, I've got it, and then it's going to fall off again because those look a little bit not going to hold.
I found out something about that because I've just been to Llandudno and they purposefully let go every 1 in 50. So there's a way to hack them. And,
it feels more like 40 out of 50. Let's go.
Yeah. So just put the 50p in, and it'll go collect your drone, and maybe give it 50 goes.
We got a question came in from Anna FPV here that says, how is Liping charging going to work at the event? Do we bring our own chargers and plug them in, or no? Do you have power there, guys, for people to charge up their batteries?
Yeah.
There's going to be a power, like a charging station where you can come over and use your charger, or we're going to bring our chargers anyway to use and let people use if needed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to have generators there, so we can have some sockets for people to plug stuff into.
Yeah.
So we obviously there's going to be a chance to people to recharge and get on there. So yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. So who's coming from here at this time? I think Jack, you've got a ticket. you three, I'm expecting, and we got 2 at the top. So
might as well.
A good
Why
turnout
not?
for us.
And a maybe from Tony if he gets to fly his X class. Maybe.
It's gonna be an expensive weekend though. Isn't it? It's like £100 and then £100 diesel probably for me. So I don't know.
Maybe the best £200 you spent in a while.
Yeah, it might be.
You might make it back on prizes. You never know.
That's the thing as well, because you could go in there and you say you're spending that much on there, but you could walk away with £300-400 worth of prizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Tony, I'm coming all the way from Canada, so
yeah, that's no excuse now. Then
just have an X class freestyle prize, and Tony's guaranteed to show up.
There you go. Yeah.
8-hour flight, 4-hour drive from Gatwick.
all right.
And Tony's right by Gatwick. Why can't you scooch a lift? What's going on there?
To be fair, Cole's a lot closer than Tony. He's got to go all that way in a van. Not the luxury of economy flight.
Yeah. The old van.
Tony's got his tent and his kettle and his toaster, isn't he? Can't go anywhere without them.
And a dog. That's the
And a
point.
dog, right?
Can dogs go? Can a dog go?
Well,
Is it pet safe?
Well,
pet safe?
I would say, well, yeah.
In the netted areas?
Can she fit through the holes in the net? That's the question.
She is a tiny
small dog.
A lot of these events, looking at Western Park and Wings and Wheels, allow dogs, don't they?
Yeah.
As long as they're on a lead. So.
Well, and Tony's dog
I'd
has
say
been
the same.
quad
The only thing
trained.
I would say is that I know what your dog's like, but my dog goes mental, and as soon as you heard that boop boop boop, she's like, "Whoa, what is it?" So
Mine would
yeah,
just look away and go, "What?"
Enter game.
So maybe without the dots, please.
I'm pretty convinced Jack only goes to Western Park to see the dogs. So
No, it's you.
there is a lot of dogs at those events.
Sexually harass you.
I love it.
I think it's going to depend on the animals, to how comfortable they are even being there.
Yeah.
Tony's dog quite
Should
used
be
to it by the
fine.
sound of it,
Yeah.
but maybe
Yeah.
others could be a little bit alarmed. So
Yeah,
I would say
I'm bringing
you know
my-
your own pets, so yeah.
Yeah.
Keep,
bringing
keep
my
them on a
That's
lead.
it. You know your own pet, so you need to know how your pet gonna behave and whether it is all right or not.
Yeah, I think she'd be fine if I turn up.
Oh, I had a question. What about fixed wing? Is there any possibilities to?
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we had
Just
a
like
couple of
that.
guys last year do some fixed wing stuff. So yeah.
But we forgot
Do
to
you
say
think we're all
something
in the
about.
same, obviously with the channels, etc., and that's all the same?
What about fixed wing with wheels that require?
we can have a Red Arrows fly past, Andy.
So-
I'm just throwing ideas up, you know.
Yeah, so there is the grass, obviously, where you've got the surrounding of the actual building itself. There is, because we're going to have like a barrier that goes around the whole side anyway. So there is going to be a volume of area that you can probably take off from. But I've never taken. I don't know how quick they do take off. If you can tell me within 20 meters, 30 meters, you should be okay.
Oh yeah, that's plenty. Yeah, absolutely.
It's more the landing, really, isn't it?
It depends what you're talking about. I mean, I was thinking of bringing a FPV head tracking stall aircraft so it can just land, you know, on the spot. That was my thinking.
That'll be cool, yeah.
And it's got a smoke system on it as well, so we could.
Oh,
you know,
that's great.
so
I actually had a question as well. So obviously there's going to be, you know, challenges and the freestyle battles and the races and whatnot. How is it going to work for, like, is there only going to be specific times that you can fly, or is there going to be any free fly times or open fly type, or how does that work exactly?
Yes, we're gonna start with free flight time, so everybody can warm up and see and test the location. And then we will start. We have obviously the plan in timing exactly where we're supposed to start, exactly challenge. But from the last year experience, I can tell it may vary, move around a little bit. Like it depends how we're gonna enjoy the challenges. But
sure.
there gonna be a plan and a schedule for everybody. To let everybody know what is in the plan per day at least, so we know these challenges. They are on Saturday, and on a Sunday we have something different.
Cool. Makes sense.
What
Speaking
about?
Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
apologies. I was just going to say, are there going to be any retail, like tents there? You know, unmanned tech, etc.
Yes, we have Whoop Store on site. We're gonna have obviously all parts available. We're gonna have GoPro service. Like if you wanna fix your GoPro or even make it naked, you will be able to.
Wow.
If you wanna,
Sexy.
it's basically your drone. We're gonna have some engineers on site, and there are those engineers. This is what I wanted to mention. The Renegade Group. These are the guys who are making drones, Cinewhoops. They are really quality drones, and they are supporting us. And because of them, thank you guys. Because of them, we have Red Bull with us. This is very important because Red Bull was really, really difficult to get in touch with, but they made it for us. And this is how they are supporting the hobby. Giving all the knowledge and skills. If you're going to break your drone, they're going to help you out. So this is really cool. And also we're going to have obviously food, DJ from Red Bull. What else? Drink bar later when we're going to all land and we're going to have, we want to, socialize. We will be able to keep sitting around having a quieter music and some drinks.
Cool. I think Andy might have been wondering what happens if you smash up a motor. Are there going to be any vendors there you could buy motors or buy propellers, buy batteries?
I think so, that we will prepare as much as we can in stock.
I did ask on Mantech if they could make it, but apparently they're moving warehouse on the 8th, so they're just in chaos during that time. They won't be able to make it, unfortunately, which is a shame.
We should be fine. We have a Whoop store on board, so they can help us out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe someone who maybe someone who has a G4 FetTech, hey Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cole's
be longer than Star Wars.
Cole's looking at building a quad, I believe, at the event. So
yeah,
that's what is missing is that G4 FetTech.
That's all I'm missing. Yeah, I think everyone's missing that right now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of warming up for the event, you guys also shared a video with us. Wonder if I could show this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So if people need
also
to
part of this is again, Pete's done a lot of work with talking to a lot of people. So we've managed to get Uncrashed. So they've they've made a 3D scale model of the actual place itself. So as you can see, this
awesome.
is what it is now. There's still some more things to do with it. I think we need to get the inside done. We want to get things like the tents and everything on there as well. We want to get some sort of logos put on there. I think what we're also organising as well is we're trying to get like a board with all the pilots that turn up, or obviously get a ticket, and have them memorialised in that board, and that obviously the Uncrashed map, and then that will go live out to the rest of the world. Really,
that's excellent.
That's so cool.
Nice.
So we're hoping to get this done out to anybody that's bought a ticket will get the early release of this. So hopefully you should be able to learn some tricks before you get there. Also, you get a good layout. It's actually quite scary how close and how real it is. As it's flying around there myself, it is actually really quite. You look as you're looking at the video, and you're like, no, that is almost spot on. It's definitely good practice.
Yes, it's taken a while to model all that for the game, all the 3D modeling.
Is there any sort of promotion or anything if people haven't got a copy of Uncrashed yet?
Pete?
Sorry, say that again. So,
if people don't have a copy of Uncrashed, do you have any codes or anything, any discounts?
Well, yes, we will. Yes, obviously we will have some giveaways, like copies of Uncrashed, and obviously some kind of discount codes in better prices if somebody want to start up the hobby. But mainly, that's like I said at the beginning, because of the festival is prepared for newbies and presenting the hobby. That's one of the part of the festival where you can try your skills on a simulator first. And you can try literally the same location. So if you're going to be good, you can win a full drone kit, or at least a simulator with a radio controller from Beta FPV.
So if people have a copy of Uncrashed, or they're planning on buying one, when are they going to be able to fly the level from?
I'm not sure about that, because it's up to Uncrashed team. They're working hard to make this map flyable for us. And it takes a long time, but I'm so impressed. Thank you, Luis. I hope that we're watching now, but this is an amazing job of what you've done. Absolutely. I'm so surprised because I know this location so well. And once I received the video, I sent it over to the friends. Then I received the feedback like, oh, nice flying. But that's a simulator. No one noticed that it's simulator.
I was just going to say, because I've been sent some promo material for this event, and I thought that was it, but that's the simulator. It's amazing.
It's a great job, and it's a great way to start a festival like this, to introduce the location. If people haven't flown there before and they're going to be stuck thinking, oh, what happens if I fly through here, or what happens if I get stuck up there, how do I get out? And you can just figure that out in the simulator, give yourself a bit of a head start, hit the ground running. It's excellent.
Yeah, you can at least get a feel for the place.
I think it might be interesting though, because one thing you tend to do when flying is become overconfident quickly, especially when surrounded by peers. So I noticed you've got a challenge for the worst crash, and I imagine you're going to hear the ringing of metal against drone echoing throughout the field there when I see bits like that showing on the sim. There's going to be some good ones, I feel.
Yeah,
have you guys all crashed there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't. No, I haven't yet.
You're not flying hard enough.
I haven't been trying hard enough.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be interesting to see who flies the hardest.
Yeah.
Bring a spare of everything, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 spares of everything.
Yeah.
I think, Mickey, that's where you broke your apex, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you smashed the whole front end. Just,
Yeah, so one of the challenges is called the sinkhole, where you do a split S over one of the towers and then down into. It's quite wide, but when you come down that far, it seems quite daunting. And I tried, I think on my 3rd or 4th attempt, I had a head-on collision with one of the bars. I smashed the camera, the 2 spaces at the front, the top plate and the bottom plate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because you're free falling from 200 foot in the air, so you imagine the momentum that you gather as you're going through that. And it is one of those, as you come over the top, you sort of have to sort of free fall. You can't do many adjustments to get, because you need to sort of get lined up, because it's quite tight to the actual building itself. So as you come over, you've got to try and stay tight, and obviously it's just pretty much just a free fall, and you've got like a big sort of square girder right at the end of the building, and you either go through it, you miss it,
Or you don't.
or you
pinwheel and fly off like a stream of confetti.
Yep.
Take
Looks like
spare
the
parts,
ground-
everybody, if you're going.
Yeah, spare parts. Looks like the ground's quite close after that square.
Yeah, exactly.
32.
It's probably about 12, 15 foot off the air. So it's you really
excellent.
have to.
Yeah, and there's even a pen.
Just throwing it out there to say that I've done it. Yeah.
How many
I
quads
haven't done it, so that's why I haven't crashed yet.
They call it a sinkhole because you're going to sink a lot of money into repairing your quads.
Yes.
That being said, though, the first couple of times I hit the edges, nothing happened to the quad. It's just one of those things, which if it hits it in the right place, then, as you all know.
We've all crashed. We've all cried. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I can't wait. Challenge which Simon has discovered, or I don't know how to say. You just said, "Let's do it." Go run. It's so funny. It's so
so
funny.
this is going to be absolutely brilliant, and this is where we want to sort of bring the spectators into it at the same time as well. So the idea is we're going to have we're going to have a game. We're going to get like you're going to have your people on with their headsets, and they're all going to tune into sort of audience mode into a quad, and we're going to like set some chairs out that you've got to go sit on. So there'll be like 10 people say 10 people playing, only 5 chairs, and then you've got to basically run from one part of the area to get this chair and sit down to be able to move to the next round. But the idea is the quad is going to move around, and it's going to do all stuff.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So, but you've got goggles on, so it makes you really disorientating. At first of all, you think, oh, this is quite easy, but as soon as that quad sort of moves, I was just all over the place. I just fall on the floor absolutely everywhere. So no, it's really good fun, and again, you don't have to be a pilot to do that. It's just a case of you put a set of goggles on, and you need to go try and go sit down on the
chair. Speaking of goggles, what transmission systems are going to be allowed? So you like HD0. I saw somebody in the chat mention HD0, DJI, and then analog and avatar. Is everything allowed?
So I think with the HD ones, the frequencies, they're very similar on the HD ones. I think they all sit in the same path. So I think if you're seeing on those channels, you should be okay. And it's just the analog. We know which ones we need to keep away from, what bands on and that sort of side. So we're going to try and put, each area, you'll have a banner up there and saying if you're DJI or any HD system, you have to go on this channel. If you're analog, you'll be on this channel.
Excellent. So everything allowed, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Brilliant.
And how do you have you done any sort of tests with people doing free fly? Because I know when you gather a bunch of people together, you generally end up in these mass chases. I'm just imagining some fantastic video with people trying to go through gaps, and you've got quads flying here and here, and one guy makes it through
conga line,
and that sort of thing. Have you guys flown there in a group before, sort of doing chases through obstacles and stuff?
Yeah. When we had done some testing there, I think there was about four of us. I think even five of us went up in there at the same time as well. So, yeah. And even again from last year, I don't think we had many issues with that. There was a lot of people moving around. There's some certain lines that you think a lot of people want to try and go for, so you do get sort of some traffic in that area. But again, I think as a community we are quite sensible sometimes when we come to flying on that sort of side. So again, if once you're turning up, as long as you're being sensible, you shouldn't have a problem. And that's not just for you not to get into trouble, it's for someone else not to get in trouble at the same time as well within flight lines.
I don't think you're having fun unless they're having mid-airs though, are you really?
No.
There'd be
In
loads.
fact, I think I got caught last year. So yeah. But it happens anywhere. Obviously, we go to the flight. When we go to like bandos and stuff. It's a few times you come out of a line, and the next thing you know, there's a quad coming right at you. So it's just like it's you try and be like the red arrows and move around each other and stuff. But yeah.
Hey, here we go, Cole. Alpha Charlie FPV's got 3 G4s in his cupboard. 3. He's hoarding 3. There you go. So you make.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to hit him up for sure.
Get in
Yeah.
contact with that
Well,
guy.
he's going to be there.
Bring him along.
Yes,
Simon,
please.
maybe we've
I'll be
got
back in a
other
minute.
people that are involved with the organization as well.
Say again, sorry.
I was saying maybe we tell everyone who the other two are.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So probably should have done that earlier on because it's part of the team, really. So the other 2 people we've got as part of the team, Alpha Charlie, as you just mentioned, he's part of the team as well. He's been a massive supporter of us since we sort of from really sort of early doors. He's really sort of pushing the event, and he's really been helping out. And also we've got Sync FPV as well. He's also part of the team, so he's going to be there, and he's sort of championing us at the same time
Well,
as well.
I'm gonna retire as a spectator then. I think on that note. Sorry, carry on.
But and again, that's where the sinkhole came from, because it was it was Tom's idea to his imagination of what's good for a good trick to give away on these prizes. So that's where that one comes from.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had Sync on Let's Run Out a while back now, so that's really cool.
We did, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, it's a really good team. We all get along.
Yeah.
We inspire each other, and
We've all
I think
got
I'm
our
primarily
different dynamics.
our objective. I think first objective is to kind of be involved with FPV and try and get other people involved and do something like in the community. It's not the idea. Even when Peter started to have this first last year, the first idea of this, it wasn't, oh, let's try and make some money and sell some tickets and so on as well. And that's why we kind of all wholeheartedly put our time and effort into it.
True.
That's great. I mean, that's usually how it starts. Just people getting together. You see these big events these days. It started just a bunch of clubs getting together doing a fly-in, and then 20 years down the line, it's a huge thing. So it's great.
So for us that can't make it, aside from Insta360 having live streaming and stuff, is there an official video channel? Are people going to use like a hashtag, so if I look on YouTube I'll be able to find all the stuff that's happening during the day?
Yeah, I mean,
just for the audio listeners, Go Nuts FPV just nodded, so I think that means yes.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So we're going to be doing things during the day. Obviously, we're going to be doing it on our own channels. We've got our own social media sort of side. So we've got Facebook and we've got Instagram. But also we're going to be posting stuff through the Insta360 channel at the same time as well. So there's going to be different avenues, that you can sort of like just check in and see how we're getting on. And we really promote people to post their own videos at the same time as well. We want to see what you do. It's great that you're turning up and really absolutely fantastic, but we want to see you fly. We want to see what you can do. Is this your first time? We want to see how you evolve through the day and through the weekend, just to see how things go on. And if you're a veteran, show us those mad skills.
Yeah.
Can we just turn up and be veterans without showing you any mad skills?
You can just turn up and be old, Tony. That's fine.
Just turn up and sit on a throne, and people bring you grapes. And
I'm coming now.
What type of grapes should we bring?
I hope you do, Tom.
Correct type of question.
Well,
he much prefers his grapes crushed and then fermented into wine in a bottle. Yeah, that's
crushed by foot.
Yeah.
Crushed by foot.
Yeah, by virgins with blonde hair.
Stop playing the secret.
Swedish. I don't know. Mad rumours once again. Sorry, Tony.
Anyway, great to see this, and great to see a bit of diversity in the FPV scene. It's not just race. There's people having great fun and challenging themselves and growing their skills with freestyle as well, which is really exciting to see. Really looking forward to this one.
Maybe if Andy's going, you could do a 0 to 60 race and see who won.
I do like that.
News item. Andy,
if everyone's seen that video, Andy checked how fast his quad would go to 0 to 60. What was it? 0.66 seconds.
Not 0.66 seconds. Thereabout. It did it so fast that it actually missed 60. So it rounded up to points if you look at the data. But yeah, I'll take it. I wish I'd filmed our reaction in the field, because previous to that, it was 1.89 seconds. So I was never expecting it. I mean, I always knew that a drone could get to 60 miles per hour and faster in under a second, but on the first try I was like, when I looked at the result, and then I said to the guys in the field, what do you think it did? And they said, well, you're smiling, so it beat. So it was like, was it a second and a half? And I'm like, 0.66. And we just could not believe it. And I went, right, I'm going home. I've done it.
Well done.
Yeah, I got it here actually, because I thought.
So what did you change? Was it just launch mode and a bit of a smoother start?
Launch mode, yes. Launch mode made a huge difference, because it takes the idiot out of the equation when it comes to getting a good start. So, but also so the device that I'm using, it's for timing cars. So I decased it. So there's the device, and there's the battery. And I just didn't run out of time, but I could get rid of the battery as well to lose a bit of weight.
But it's the back.
The first run was done with a tiny phone on here, and that's because it connects via Bluetooth. But I figured that I could do a 0 to 60 run, because it'd do it so fast, and uses Bluetooth 4. So it's got a range of 60 meters. And it did it in 30 feet. So it was quite easy to record the 0 to 60. But it was just a bit of fun, You see all these videos. The drone does 0 to 120 in 1 second, but then there's no proof. And I'm like, well, I want to find a way that we can put it on a leaderboard. And if I put this on the leaderboard, the online leaderboard, it would be ranked #1 probably forever, because the closest I think is 0.89 seconds to 60. So even though I wasn't happy, even though I think this can go much faster, I think.
Now you've got some unusual props there, but do you make any other concessions to go for the drag racing quad?
It's funny, you know. So I mean, this would be a whole podcast on its own if I went into the details. But it's just a real fine balance of everything. You know, you don't want your motors to have too high of a kV, because then you'll get voltage sag, and you don't want voltage sag, because less voltage sag means RPM. You want dual blades that do not bend.
Spin up faster.
They spin up faster, less drag, because a third blade creates drag. And believe it or not, you need a bit of weight behind it, because especially when doing those launches, like I've tried it with lighter quads, and it doesn't get the numbers. And I think the inertia of the weight, you know, once it's got that initial thrust and it's got a bit of weight behind it, it's being pushed through the air by its weight, if you get me. So
it's less prone to wobbling.
I kind of liken it to like if you was to try and throw a brick and then throw a feather, which one would go further? And it
depends where you are, Andy.
In a vacuum, yeah. But either way, yeah, it's a bunch of fun, and it's expensive on batteries. So
are you just killing a lipo in every run then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every single that's why first go 0.66. I was like, yeah, I'm done, because the battery's done at that point. Yeah, really? Wow. It's so sad as well, because the battery had 10 cycles through it. But yeah, you do a second run on that battery fully charged, and it's not going to get anywhere near that.
Wow.
So, okay. Yeah, it's an expensive, but you know, I'm all about what's fun for me, and this was really fun. So you know,
maybe we'll put it on Tony's X class to see what the same setup does.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
You just need to buy 4 new props. That's what, 120 quid, Tony, with 2-bladed.
And those new batteries you've got, Tony, just going to throw them away.
I'm building a 12S at the moment, so the 8S is gone, 12S next for the X class. Stretch leg as well.
What are all the challenges, Andy Hyam says?
Oh yeah, freestyle challenges.
Yeah, Frank wants to know more about the challenges. You've talked about having quite a lot of them, but can you go through some more in a bit more detail, guys?
So we have the sinkhole, which we know about already. The gap which you need to get flying over the headstock and diving to the gap which is on the side of the building, lower building. Then we have a super loop. Super loop, we're still practicing this to make it doable. But on the headstocks you have little triangulars where you're gonna start the loop from one, then back to the other. It's really difficult, but the price is crazy for that. I think that we're gonna add one more challenge, which is called Power Square. And the Power Square is something which Tom Sting FPV has done last year before the festival. It's inside of the building, like the area where you need to do a power loop, but the shape of it, the loop is like in a square. Really difficult.
Yeah, it's almost, when you do the loop, you've got to go across, up, and back round again, because you've got like 2 bars sort of either side. And obviously then you've got where your starting point is to get round the whole lot. It's really about that momentum at that top piece to push yourself back to get round again. So yeah.
I think I saw that video that Sink does.
Yeah,
Can I ask, has anyone does it apart from him? Because he took like several goes at it and just bashed quads.
And he's got a lot of sponsorship for motors and props, which other people might not have.
I think last year we had some pilots who've done something very similar, not exactly a power square, but this year we have a simulator, so I'm expecting that the skills level gonna go higher, and probably power square gonna be nothing for them.
Yep. So as Mickey mentioned as well, Stairway to Heaven, there's like a corkscrew staircase that goes all the way up. It's very tight. A lot of people was using tiny whoops last year when we did that, just to go up and all the way up to the top, and it's to see who can get to the furthest. That sounds really quite simple, but a lot of the people that did that last year, some even didn't get to the first flight. So yeah, it's really quite a difficult one to get all the way up to the top as well. I'm trying to think what else we've got.
We've got challenge.
Yeah, so we've got prop swap. So to do that in the fastest time. Yeah,
pit stop kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, manual tools only, no electric screwdrivers on that sort of side. Yeah, gotcha. So yeah, we're doing that. Also, that was things like the competitions come with is the best freestyle trick. And I think we're doing an amalgamation of Sync FPV is going to be sort of looking at those and judging those, but we want to try and get some audience input at the same time as well. So when we are doing the live stream, we want to try and give them sort of a bit of a vote, so the people that can't be there, they can put their 2 cents in and what they think is the best one at the same time as well. Crazy balloons.
I just thought you need to ban those popo props because they just come off and go on. So
yeah. There's it's got to be a proper.
Yeah.
Prop.
Special category for T-mount. T-mount prop. Never mind.
Right, got you.
Yeah.
I was thinking guys with tiny whoops and push props. They're like, done it.
No, it needs to be a standard normal 5-inch style.
With a tiny prop, tiny whoop. It's like taking the prop off and the motor bell. Oh, right, the motor.
Yeah, crazy balloons. We're gonna hide some balloons over the sides, and the challenge is to find them and fly so close so they're gonna blow up. And once you find them, you're gonna win a prize. There's also another idea of the challenge where we're gonna bond a pilot with a spectator. Spectator gonna have to try to do a trick on a simulator, then a pilot in a real life need to try this as well, and if they score the trick together, they win something together.
So a bit of a team up. So choose your friends wisely.
Anything else?
What are the dates again, lads? So you can.
So it's 12th to the 14th of August.
And what are the start and end times as well? As in when it comes to like events and things start happening, because people like to know that.
Yeah, so I think we're starting at about 9 o'clock on the Saturday morning. Sort of, at that morning we do the safety briefing, let everybody know the rules, what's going to go on, the sort of itinerary of the day from that sort of point of view. And then I think we're going to try and go as long as we can. Obviously day night, and obviously that we want to meet as long as we can safely within the light that we're given at the same time as well.
So is that doors open to the public too at 9, or is that earlier, or whenever anyone wants to?
For spectators, it's like 9 a.m., 6 p.m. If you have a spectator pass and you stay over all weekend, obviously you stay over a night.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and also the weekend passes for spectators and the weekend pass for pilots. People can arrive on Friday evening to set up camp and to have a meet and greet and get everything set up for themselves.
Will there be any flying on the Friday evening, or no? Okay.
There's some things we can do on the Friday evening to get people up in the air quicker. Obviously, we want to do some tests to make sure that your quad passes like a QC test. Basically, we just want you to turn your quad on, props off. Obviously, no severed hands. Turn your quad on, turn your radio off, and we want to see it shut down. So make sure the fail safes are all working, etc. And then we'll put a sticker on there to make sure that it's ready to fly for the event for the weekend.
That's a good point.
Is it likely that people are allocated a frequency and they'll stay at that all week, or is it going to be the case of you're on this flight and you're now on like R?
So the way we're going to try and do it is, as we said, we want to try and put those flight lines to say that you should really stay in this area. If someone wants to sit on one flight line and stay in the area and probably wants to, that's up to them what they want to do. Every hour, if people do want to swap, we're pretty much going to stop down for 5 minutes. Everyone can power up, change the channels, and then once that's done, we'll start the flying all over again. So pretty much there'll be 55 minutes of flying per hour, and then a 5-minute switch over.
I think Caroline mentioned BMFA insurance, FPV UK needed to fly, or not?
Yes, basically that's the standard which we had last year, and I think this is even a CAA regulation. I'm not sure whether this is still live, but if you fly with your drone over 250 grams, you need to have a flyer ID, and this flyer ID needs to go on the quad, and also a kind of sport insurance, which like FPV UK they have. It's like 19.99 a year. And this is the standard which we keep from the last year. And also our insurer required that.
And I believe BMFA is equivalent to FPV UK or provides.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. BMFA, they have authorized and help us out with preparing the documentations with the festival. So thanks for that. So you can go wherever you like. You can use cover drones, any kind of insurance, up to you. We're going to be checking that on gate. There are going to be like a waiver to sign that you've got it, that you have your flyer ID, and then you go to the fail-safe check.
Cool.
So one more thing about the fail-safe. If everybody can come with a 200 milliwatts drone, output power, and channel 1. So it will speed up with fail-safe checking and registration.
When you say channel 1 of which band?
Or race band?
Race 1 or...
Race band 1 or F1?
Yes.
Channel 1?
Channel 1 or race band 1.
Okay.
Race band 1.
Either or. Right, I'm on race 1.
Well, he's race band 1, so we can give out the race.
Well, it's good that we get to check all that before, because otherwise we all rock up. We've got everything set to race 1, and everyone just knocks each other out of the air instantly. So good to get that out of the way the day before.
Yeah. Like I said, before we start anything anyway, we are going to make sure that everybody's on the right channel. We're going to put where you've got where your flight tent is. There will be a sign there saying what channel you should be on. So before you start, you need to make sure you do
so you've got one tent per channel.
Per channel, yes, and also you'll have all the markings you need to do on that sort of side.
Excellent.
It's like a modern day pegboard.
Yeah.
Race band 1.
And again, we just appreciate that people sort of pay attention to that, and they sort of prep as they're moving around. But as we do it, you're going to have me going around with a megaphone anyway, telling people when we're doing stuff at the same time as well. So it's going to be well communicated. It's very loud. It's great. It's got noises and everything. I'm happy.
I can love that.
I know someone who's going to steal that within 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Right. It's going to be strapped round.
Oh, he'd strap himself, strap you to him, don't
There'll be some megaphone wrestling then. Yeah. That's the second event.
I'll bring my camera.
I'll bring the talcum powder.
Well, listen, we're getting
quite excited
for an hour, which is our normal podcast. Is there anything you guys also wanted to say which didn't have a chance to get your message across on that? Anything missing that you wanted to tell?
Jack's hand is up.
Race band 1 is 5658.
True or false?
Thank you, Jack.
That's
Or just
R1 numbers.
Or just R1 in your goggles now?
Yeah. And Andrew Frank comments that we're using 200 instead of the standard 25 at race events because there's a lot of brick, I guess, and steel, and that's not going to work.
And again, we've done some testing on that. We found that 200 is quite a good, it's pretty much it's quite a good sort of place where we can push it that little bit more to get some more range out, but also not interfering with other people. And I think anybody that's flown with each other, like bandos and other things, that you can push it more if you want to, if you do certain things. But we just want to bring that down to a safe level. So
don't want to overlap.
We don't want any overlap. We don't want to be stopping things and ruining everybody else's flight lines. You just about to pop off this awesome trick and then suddenly stop. You got to stop, and we don't want that.
All it takes is someone with a bit of a dodgy or slightly broken VTX, and if they push the power a bit too much, it's just going to fuzz all over the band.
Yeah.
Also, I guess no 50 megabit mode for DJI.
No, definitely not. All 25. Yep.
Yeah,
and that's even for the new Avatar. They've rolled out that now, so that's going to have to roll back to 25 as well.
Yeah. Just stick it in HQ mode. Same quality, I find.
Yeah.
You lose latency, but I can't perceive it. That's what we all do when we fly together. Is 25 and HQ. Yeah, 60 FPS. It's not a big deal.
And again, when people are sort of, if people are used to running the 700 or the 1 watts when they're going out flying, is your first flight, take that's your warm up pack. Please, if you're not used to running that 200, find those places where that it does sort of break up a little bit to make sure, because again, we don't want people losing their quads. And as much as we're going to try our best to get every quad back and on that sort of side, we were sort of going to push a little bit back to you guys, to the flyers, to make sure that you're flying safe and doing everything you do to not lose that quad in the first place.
Yeah, we forgot to say something about our partner, really, who are guys from Airsoft team, Wild Fox Airsoft team. They are a group of Airsoft players. I'm not sure whether you are familiar with Airsoft, but they look like real soldiers, but they have replicas, and they just play the game like they chase each other and shoot each other. And we're gonna have an Airsoft show with smoke grenades and
come on, Tony.
Shooting range.
It's really good, especially when they start. It was some really surreal stuff. They were playing like badminton with smoke grenade going off and people sort of shouting and jumping in cars. It was really weird, but epic to fly around.
Yes,
excellent.
But no, it's really good. Yeah, like I said, the guys will be going around during the day. You'll see them moving around, jumping on cars and stuff, and you'll be able to do. It'll all be within the constraints of the building, so it's not like there's pedestrians or people are going to get run over or abducted and chucked in the back of a car.
And they've already got safety kit on because they're playing airsoft. So it's
exactly. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, unfortunately,
someone's having fun pressing all the banner buttons for some reason.
Jack,
is that you, Jack?
I don't know.
Jack.
Distract people.
Don't let Jack on the computer when he's on drugs, which is all the time currently.
He's every minute of the time.
Sorry, that's all
good to see you again, Jack. I hope you're feeling better.
He's trying to say.
Really good to see you.
An outro. Come on.
He's trying to sign off. Come on, Jack. Try again. Give it a go.
Deep breath. Deep breath.
No,
1, 2, 3.
Unfortunately, that's all we got time for. But thank you for tuning in and listening to Let's Drone Out. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, it has been edited by our lovely editor, and that has all been paid for by our lovely Patreons. And we wouldn't be able to do the show and stay impartial without you guys. Thank you very much. And our Lord and Master and organizer of everything, Andrew/Frank, he will be releasing Patreon invites for an exclusive event that we're doing, because soon in August it will be our 7-year anniversary. So LDO's been going for 7 years, and we are all
longest relationship I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Thank you guys for inviting us.
Thank you so much for the FPV Drone Fest crew. FPVDronefest.com. Go find it, get some tickets, have a look.
And you've been joined by Stephen.
See ya. Thanks.
Cole.
See ya.
Everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Bye.
Go Nuts FPV.
Toodles.
Mickey FPV. A man holding a kitty, Swiss FPV. Oh, it's very nice.
So
my darling wife Tony.
Bonjour.
That came and saw me. Oh, thank you. And it's an absolute blessing on the eyes to see someone back on LDO and ERC.
My pleasure, and thanks for watching. Ta-ta.
Yeah, and take mental health seriously. Look after yourself. Look after your friends. and I've been Bright Until I Fly. I've missed you guys. Thank you for all the well wishes, and it's a real honour to be back. Thank you. Good night. You've listened to Let's Drone Out.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.